Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast. It is Friday, November the 14th, 2025. As I am recording this, the stock market has only been open for a little more than an hour and a half. It's 9:10 a.m. my time in the Mountain Time Zone. I am doing this much earlier than I would normally like to do on a Friday. I know that's become almost a little bit of a pattern in the last week that I've been doing these a little bit earlier in the day. That won't continue. Next week will be a much more normal schedule in terms of the majority of these podcasts being in the afternoon rather than in the evening. I like to recap at the end of the day kind of what the markets have done versus trying to make predictions and stuff while the market is open or while it's still trading. But I because of some other things going on, I had to do it today. So anyway, or earlier today. So anyway, really fascinating start to the day from my perspective, because here you've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average down about 360 points, and that's pretty close to what futures were pointing to prior to the market opening. You can see that the S&P just went positive, but it started out 75, 80 points to the downside, which is a lot for the S&P. That's almost a full percent. And the NASDAQ started the day today almost 1.5% to the downside and is now 0.25% to the upside. Now, it's early. There's a lot of time left to trade. I could see momentum picking up, and you could see the Dow, get closer and closer to break even. You could see the S&P up farther and farther, the NASDAQ up farther and farther. But it's so early in the trading day that I think it's a 50-50 bet on whether or not sometime today all of this turns and goes the other way. And right now, it's just anybody's guess. I mentioned yesterday, if you listen to yesterday's podcast, one of the things I said, and I stand by it, is that it wouldn't take very long for the buyers to move in, the buy the dip crowd to move in on this market. I'll give you a couple of examples. You can see it happening today with Marvell. They're only up 20 cents a share right now, but they were way down again this morning from where they finished yesterday, and they've come back a long ways, and now they're up. You can see it with Nvidia. Nvidia was down again at the opening of trading, and now it's positive. It's up by $1.25. And just a minute or two ago, Nvidia was almost up. I think what was their high of the day has been 189.52, and right now they're at 188.30. So they were up almost $3 a share at one point. Palantir, another great example. Palantir was one of those companies that had 2 days in a row of really ugly sell-off, and they started again down deep today. I know this is kind of small on your screens, but let me show you. They started the day low. They went down a lot, and then the buyers have moved in, at least for right now, and pushed them up. Palantir has been up as high as 176. They're at 174 and about a half right now. So again, about $1.50 off of their high of the day, but still having a nice day. Tesla, pre-market, Tesla was down. Holy smokes. This one absolutely kills me. Tesla was down $17 a share pre-market. They started the day again. You can see it right here. Let me erase this and I'll draw in again. You can see they started the day down. They went way down, sort of touched off of a little bit higher than 380, and then they've been on a steady uphill climb. Now they're up to 403. They've been as high as 406 today. So they're not sitting right at the high of the sessions, but every single open trade in my cash portfolio, with the exception of Palo Alto Networks, which is I have some. It's not an SOS trade that's open right now, but I have some Palo Alto Network. They're the only one I have that is not trading positive yet, but you can see same pattern. They went way down to begin with, and now they're up to almost break even. I show Palo Alto Network only down 19 cents a share right now, and they have not quite today yet been into, well, actually, they may have briefly gone a few pennies into positive territory, because I show their high at 204.95, and they're at 204.69 right now, which is only 8 cents down. So yeah, they did move into positive territory ever so briefly, but they're just a tiny bit negative right now. Amazon started the day down, they're up a little bit. CoreWeave started the day down, they're up a little bit. The SPY was way down. SPY, they're up a little bit now. Marvell, Applied Data, Tesla, Nvidia, Palantir, all trading to the upside now. Now, like I said, it's early in the trading day, but the fact that these companies are not all selling off right now, even if that turns and there is a little bit of sell off, if it's not severe, if you do, as long as we finish the day without seeing all of these stocks come back down to their session low, if they finish up in this area they're in right now, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, even if it's negative territory, but it's not a lot. What that should tell you is that the selling is mostly being shaken out. I heard Kenny Polcari, who I'm a big fan of. I like Kenny Polcari. I don't agree with Kenny 100% of the time, but he's a smart guy. He's been doing this longer than I have. He trades a lot of money for other people, whereas I just trade my own money and tell you what I'm doing. Kenny Polcari said this is kind of a shaking the trees thing, which is maybe a more eloquent way of what I was saying yesterday. We're getting rid of all the idiots out there that think this is a time to sell the market. The buyers are swooping in. They are coming in, not in mass yet, but time will tell. You can see right now here with PA&W, they've turned positive again, only by about 10 cents a share. This shows 9. It's got a little bit of a delay. So only by about 10 cents a share, but they're positive again. Palantir is getting back close to their high of the day, as is Nvidia. So, and the Dow right now, having been down as much as 500 points earlier in the trading session, and we're still early overall, but earlier today already, the Dow was down a little over 500, and it went there right at the open. It just took off to the downside, bounced a little bit, and then you can see not a perfect line, but with a little bit of wobbling, even the Dow looks like it might push towards being a break-even day. In the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it is Microsoft and Nvidia are largely responsible for it not being down real big, but United Healthcare has taken a big hit today. The fourth or fifth heaviest weighted stock, along with American Express, which is in that top 6 or 5, 6, 7 heaviest weighted stocks, and Visa and Home Depot. They're all down between 1.5% and 3% today. That's why the Dow is still down. You've got almost, not quite right now, but almost an even split between Dow companies that are flat to break even or to the upside versus those that are to the downside. So, yeah, interesting from a percentage standpoint. It is United Health, Nike, which is not a heavy-weighted stock at all, and American Express are your 3 biggest losers from a percentage standpoint, and that's what's keeping the Dow down. But the NASDAQ, the S&P, like I said, both now in positive territory, and maybe continuing a little bit of momentum to the upside. But again, it's early. There are going to be people that are spooked enough about what happened yesterday and still have some of the lingering concerns over what may have caused yesterday's sell-off to still want to bail and go into some cash for the weekend, or continue to rotate out of some stocks going into the weekend. So don't this is one of those days where what doesn't look at all like it did yesterday, thank heavens, but we're not out of the woods in the sense of it's so early in the trading day. I hope the momentum continues to build and things continue to go up for all 3 indexes, but don't be shocked or majorly disappointed if you see it reverse and drop a little bit. That's an absolute possibility, and something that I think you've got to be, at the very minimum, you've got to be prepared for. I want to show you one thing that I am giving some consideration to today. The VIX spiked way up in the last couple of days, and I think there's a good chance that the VIX goes back down to this $15-16 a share mark. At the very least, maybe back down here to 18, but I think it could go back down to 16-ish in the next couple of days. I'm going to look at possibly with an expiration date of next week. I'm going to look at maybe doing an in the money bear put spread. We do a lot of in the money bull call spreads, but I'm looking at maybe an in the money bear put spread. If we looked at next week's expiration, which would be let's see, the VIX, my choices are November 19th or November 26th. If I looked at a November 26th VIX in the money bear put, I would buy the 20 strike. Oh, let's see. Yeah, buy the 20 strike and sell maybe the no, wait, I'm sorry. I'm reversing this. If I bought the 20 strike, I would sell the 18 strike. A $2 spread that would cost me about $1.14. I actually think that's a pretty good bet because I think markets will continue to move in that way. I'm actually going to do this right now. You can follow me or not. I'm going to get a few of these. A $2 spread, and I can pay $1.14 for the 20 strike long put, the 18 strike short put with the November 26th expiration. I'm not going to do a lot of contracts of this, but I'm actually going to do it and see what I get with this. I put my limit price in at 114. The mid price is 113 and a half. So what I'm willing to do, I'm willing to pay 115, and that'll probably guarantee me a fill right away. It did. So I'm in a VIX trade that not a lot of contracts. I did 5 contracts. It's only about $550. I'm not spending a lot of money on this, but a 20 strike long put for November 26th and an 18 strike short put for November 26th. So I'm going to see if I can't enhance my portfolio a little bit with that because I think the VIX is clear up here. The 18 is out of this. Isn't really a fully in the money bear put spread. But I think it will be in the money by Monday or Tuesday. So we'll see what happens. NASDAQ now up over 100. The S&P now up 10. Dow only down 267. But again, a lot of that downward movement is just on a couple of companies. So looking much improved from yesterday, but still a long ways to go to get back some of those positions we lost on yesterday. As a point of interest, our open spread trades, Palantir, took a big hit yesterday, but I guarantee it's going to look a lot better today. And it's a long enough term trade that I'm not real stressed about this one. Amazon yesterday again. Oh, I didn't notice this. I didn't notice this. Market data is offline. It's trying to reconnect. I'm not going to be able to update this for you right now, and I won't spend time trying to do that. So keep your chin up. Things looking a lot better today than they were yesterday. Hopefully that continues to improve. But again, don't be shocked. Don't be disappointed. Don't be freaked out in any way if there is a turn and we give up some of this before the end of the day. I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. Everybody, have a great weekend, and I'll be back on Monday. Thanks. Bye-bye.